Let's play reverse Wordle. So the word for today was gunky. Kind of a weird word. We're going to look at Willy's guesses. So Willy got it on the fourth guess. Gunky was his fourth guess. Third one, he got the first letter. So we're going to do G. He got the last one, but it was yellow. So he could have gotten an N or a K or a U or G even. G would be unlikely, but it could be possible. G or U or N or K. As we know it can't be Y because if it was Y it would be green. And then the same for the previous one. And then the first one is completely unknown to us, I think. Yeah. Now this may seem very challenging, but I think we can get somewhere. So let's take a stab at this second guess. U and Y, because that could be like the end of the word. Could be any of the other letters. Oh, actually, it can't be Y. It can't be Y. It could be CH. Chunk. So we could have chunk. Let's say he did chunk. And then I'll add other stuff just in case, because he could definitely guess other things. But he's still unlikely to guess repeat letters. That's what we're banking on. I will say, I don't know how doable this is yet. I think it would be probably a lot easier if we knew his starting word as well. So if I can't get very far, I may ask Willy what his starting word was, and then we'll come back to this. I don't know. I had this idea, and I wanted to try it out. I don't know how doable it's going to be with just the ending word. It feels like you can. I'm using the vertical bar here as an OR notation. So here I'm saying that the third letter could be any of these four letters, etc., etc. It's interesting that he only got 2 of them, which makes me think that he didn't guess something that had all the yellow letters from guess number 2, right? Because if he'd gotten 3 here, you would almost assume that the next one would have at least like a green and a yellow, and then you'd think that there'd be another yellow somewhere, right? He moved around the third letter and got it somewhere. But that isn't the case, which makes me think he almost guessed like a word that had not these 3. That would be crazy lucky though. I feel like that would be surprising. What was the word again? Gunky? So if he got G and then a letter that isn't Y, and Y would be in one of these 3. Alright, my camera died. I hope that doesn't keep happening. That was kind of annoying. This is trickier than I thought it was going to be, but I think we can get somewhere. I will say, depending on how many guesses someone has, in a word, it would be easier or harder to do their reverse Wordle, because if they have 3 guesses, you only have to guess 1 word, assuming that we change the rules till you get their first word. This is a very undefined mode of play. Chunk feels like a very good guess. Steel, chunk, groan, and gunky are valid. Like that's one set that could be possible. I'm just trying to now at this point narrow down whether I think that's a likely path of guesses that you would take or not. I'm gonna see if I can get him to send me his guess list so I can have it on my screen next to me. Alright. So he sent me his Wordle here, the first word he did, and then also his actual Wordle results. I'm gonna copy this. Okay, so these are the guesses now. Steel is all blank, chunk has the last 3, and groan and then gunky. I could spend more time trying to come up with alternate sequences, but I think I'm going to lock this in, and then I'm going to check what his first word is, and if I want to alter any of my guesses, then I will do that. So this is what I guessed without the first word. I could have come up with more, but I feel like that just takes time and isn't that interesting. So now I'm going to reveal what this first word was. Okay, so he did do steel first. Okay, this was maybe a little bit biased because I knew what his first word was. Because he said that he'd used that for a previous one, so I thought that maybe it'd be the same one. And it was. The rules for reverse Wordle is that you start with the first word and the last word, and then you try to see how accurate you can get with the words in the middle. I think that's the rules. So I knew that it was steal, I knew that it ended with gunky, and then these were what I put for the middle ones. Now that I know that he did put steal as his first one, I might be able to push this envelope a little further. There's got to be another word that you can do here. I think I'm just going to stick with groan and see what he got. Ooh, groin. Groin. Ah, that's a good third. That's a good third guess because it also gets out thigh. 1 out of 2 is not bad. I'm surprised I got chunk. I wonder if there's any other ones I could try. Lucky. I'm trying to look for one that has like a decent amount of info. I could try wars. War has... That feels pretty doable. Let me try wars. So I know this was sheep. I know that this was SPE. Probably AK, and then shelf. That's my guess, I think. Shelf, speak. Is there any other she? That would work. Spent. Right? Because N and T are not in the final letter, so those would both be white. Yeah, you can spend as much time as you want on guessing each guess, and when you think you have it in your set of guesses, then you can just look. Theoretically, once you get a guess for each that matches and makes sense for the results of the letters, you can basically check at that point. But you will be more accurate if you put more words down that could have been a possibility. But it's definitely harder to get exactly what someone guessed than the Wordle. You kind of need a good set of greens and yellows. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do this, and we're gonna see if we were correct. I already checked Willy's, and I was correct 1 out of 2. I got chunk, but not groin. I did get really close though. I was 1 letter off, which is unfortunate. Alright, so it's way later because War took forever to get back to me on this. I guessed speak or spent or spend, and then I guessed shelf and then sheep. He doesn't have the results specifically, but I talked to him, and obviously this one was correct. He said this one was likely that, so I'm gonna take that one. And he said the first one here was spear. So what he actually had was spear, which I was pretty close. Yeah, speak seems like one thing I'm learning doing this is you have to consider all the possible 1-letter changes that you could make. For example, in this one it was groin instead of groan. So just think about like switching out each letter and see if you can come up with any extra words. I thought I would have it with this one, but well, that's it for today's reverse Wordle. I may do more in the future, but I'm probably not going to record them or anything. This was just kind of a proof of concept video to throw it out there. I would like to make some sort of website or a web page that you can like paste in either someone else's results or someone could upload their results, and then you could do this reverse Wordle. I think that would be kind of cool. It would be a little bit more structured and the rules would be kind of more outlined, and it would probably have more visuals. For example, when I'm typing out the letters, I could have the colors behind it, right? So you know kind of what the person guessed. That's the idea. I hope you enjoyed this little idea intro of reverse Wordle, and thanks for watching.